Hello, I'm Brenda Martin with Inside Huntsville. The purpose of the show is to give you, our viewing audience, an opportunity to learn more about the services to you through our numerous city departments. Today, we're highlighting the public relations side of the Huntsville Police Department, which, by the way, is one of our largest departments with a manpower of 628 under the able leadership of Chief Morris. Assisting the chief to deliver accurate and timely communications to the many necessary entities is my friend and colleague, Dr. Harry Hobbs, HPD's Communications Relations Officer. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and visit with us today. Harry, you wear so many hats, You are responsible for all the primary external media,
yes,
communications through the community. Walk us through what an exciting day is like for you.
Well, you know, a day in the life, it is very exciting. As you know, I'm on call 24 hours a day.
Yes, okay.
And I must be able to respond anywhere within the city, within about an hour, with a suit on, shaved, ready to give the update and the report. And I'm very privileged to be able to do that for our city. But a day in the life, initially when I took the job, I was reporting starting at about 6 a.m. until we were able to become a little more automated. Now we have the incident shift report system where we can send it digitally to the media. So my day normally starts in the office at about 7:30. When I come in, I look at all the incident reports again and see what media requests are already in my inbox for me. It's one of me, and it's about 40 other reporters that I work with print media, online, and the local TV station. So we have a great relationship. So I look at those and start prioritizing those media requests that I need to respond to. It may be research that I have to do within our database. It may be talking to an investigator that just got off duty. It may be talking to an officer, getting an update. And so I get all that information. I'm like the clearinghouse, and I make sure that it's the accurate information. Then I update the media a couple times a day because they have news reports to inform our community. And so we have to, a symbiotic relationship, we have to work well together to funnel that information, to update it, to do the follow-ups that we need. So that's that primary piece, is communicating, follow-up. Then they may ask me for an interview. So then I make sure that I have the information for that interview. And oh, by the way, there are 4 stations. If that subject is a very high priority for them, for their breaking news, then guess what? I got 4 interviews.
You got 4, okay.
And so I have to schedule those interviews,
yes,
prepare to answer for the questions they want, because every station brands their questions in response, and then we'll conduct that for a while. Then after I conduct the interviews, then I may have to work a project. I may have a ALS drive. I may work the Cotton Row race where we get some of our cadets ready to represent at that race. I may have to work the United Way where we're raising money to help with the community with that. I may be preparing for a class. I teach at about 4 different areas for the police department. I teach at the Police Academy. I teach at the Citizens Academy. I teach at the Senior Crime Prevention Academy. And then I may get a guest speaker invite where I have to go to a local high school, or may have to go to an elementary school to be the reader that day. And I'll go build that relationship. Huntsville Housing Authority may call me to come over and work with a project with them. Or I may get a phone call from the Drug Take Back for a partnership, Drug Take Back Partnership Group, and I work projects with them. And so when you come in my office, you're going to see a tower of folders. But there is a method to my madness.
Okay.
There is a system, an outline that I use. But every day I go through all those checks and services. No, by the way, I work very closely with about 3 or 4 other law enforcement agencies, Madison County Sheriff's Office, Madison City, as well as our state troopers. We do events together. And in the afternoon, might be time to cut a PSA. It's an awareness campaign.
Okay.
So as the weather breaks, maybe it's time to go cut an awareness campaign about be careful crossing the pedestrian crosswalk, watch out for traffic. It may be prom season. Whatever the season is, we have a awareness campaign. As the weather gets better, you may have to guard against being burglarized or having someone breaking and entering into your vehicle. So I tell you, Brenda, it's so exciting. It's so dynamic. There is never a boring day.
Never a dull moment in your business, is it?
No, not at all.
Well, you talked a lot about your involvement with the community. Why is it so important to build that relationship?
Well, it's everything. I like to consider myself a bridge builder and a mediator.
Oh, yes.
Even during my military experience, almost 30 years, I was called upon to go to foreign countries, be one of the first ones on the ground, to build a relationship with that host country so we could, arrive there and have a good handoff of whatever the mission was. And so I kind of picked those skills up. And also being multiracial,
yes.
That by default made me understand how people think, different stereotypes. And I've been school trained many different levels of equal opportunity and the ability to mediate in the military. And so I try to bring all that to bear and try to build relationships, because if I can get the community to buy in, to be a shareholder with what we're trying to do, then we can really build this community, bridge it, make it one city, one Huntsville, one vision. And that was my goal from the very beginning, was to be a part of that great process. And I feel humbled to play a small part in it.
Well, you certainly played a large part, particularly in the area of our youth.
Yes, ma'am.
You started the annual Caffee event. Tell us more about that.
Well, that was to me. It was a gift from God.
Okay.
As a child growing up in unfortunate circumstances without a mother and father and extended family, I needed the community to help me get where I'm at today. I stand on the shoulders of many folks that have helped me, and so everywhere I go, I try to create a package for young folks to where they can succeed. So we came up, when I got that blinding epiphany of the 4 pillars of success, kind of like Dr. Brown and Back to the Future,
yes.
Health, education, careers, and finances. And so we build that. We get volunteers to come in. It's free to the public, free book bags, school supplies to the first 500 kids. We have information in those 4 pillars of success, free food, we have free entertainment. And what we try to do is create that synergy where parents can come in, sign their kids up to civic organizations that can help reinforce good values for the kids so they can find out what's going on in the world of education and health, so we can have a better community and more successful, a better educated. And we feel that if we have that one-stop shopping with all these resources there and all these civic leaders there and all these community leaders, then the kids can resonate with them, build relationships, network, and follow up, and have an opportunity to be successful. Because I wouldn't be here today without folks helping me.
So you talked about health, education, finance, and what are the 4?
Careers.
And careers. Okay. So you came up with this yourself. I mean,
yes, ma'am.
This was something this was a dream of yours.
Yes.
And how many years has it been that you've had this?
I'm overwhelmed, getting goosebumps. We're going into year 4.
4th year.
This is the 4th year. The first year we had about 1,000 folks. And I want to thank then Chief Hudson for allowing me to bring this forth, and now Chief Lewis Morris for allowing me and Mayor Battle to bring this to the community. I couldn't do it without public safety, all the organizations, and I've been able to tie together a coalition of my military days,
yes.
my high school teacher, college professor days, and now my law enforcement days. So I bring all those folks out here, and we set up these over 100 sponsors with these 4 pillars of success. And then we run the kids through here and give them the information they need so they can have a chance at being successful. And I just appreciate this community and the local politicians and legislators that donate their time, money, and effort. So although maybe I'm the face and the point person for that, it's way bigger than me. My wife, she works this 6 months at home as the coordinator. She says, hey, this is not a paying job. I said, I know, honey, but I appreciate your help. So I couldn't get there without volunteers like my wife. We have about 25 dedicated folks. We take about 6 months to gear this thing up. And the beautiful thing about it is it spawned other community events that are very much like the Community Awareness for Youth, which are making a huge difference as well. And so we're trying to let these spawn up every 3 or 4 months and connect them together so our community can have good coverage on this good information.
So when these kids come in that day, first of all, we probably ought to share where you have it.
Yes, ma'am.
Where it's held. And then tell us exactly what happens when the children come in.
Yes, ma'am. It's the 16th of August, the third Saturday every August. It's a back to school event, although we know the school calendar's moved a little bit. And it's an annual event. It starts at 10 a.m. It goes to 3 p.m. So when young folks get there, I recommend you get there between 9 and 9:30.
And where is it?
It's at 2180 Airport Road, right there to JC's building and fairground.
Okay.
What we'll start doing is putting bands on you, because the first 500, maybe more, according on how much we're able to raise, we get book bags. So we get you banded, get you a free book bag and some school supplies. We open up at 10. As soon as we open up, you'll come into the main building, the JC's building, and you'll go through like a resource fair and information fair. It'll be Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, 100 Black Men, all United Way, you name it, YMCA. They go through and see what resonates with them. Maybe they didn't know these great organizations existed, and now it's one-stop shopping.
Okay.
And then they can go through the careers pillar. They'll see law enforcement, they'll see military service, they'll see research park businesses and Space and Rocket Center, and they'll go through that part of it. And then they'll go to finance. Different banks will be there, information about how to manage a checkbook, so on and so forth. They'll go through that. And then they'll go through some interactive fitness and how to eat and information about nutrition. And then let's say around 11:30, hey, they get the free food. They go in the dining facility, get free food. Our target market is 7th through the 12th grade, 12 to 18, but it's 1 to 99. Bring grandma, bring grandpa, bring the newborn baby. We'll have HIMSI there. We'll have fire and rescue. It'll be the safest place in the city.
Okay.
And if you would normally drop your children off at the mall, that's on you, parents. If you want to drop them off, we got them. And we'll run them through the pillars. We'll watch them till you get there. School resource officers will be there. Our drug officers will be there with informational activities, as well as our anti-gang folks. So once they get through lunch, then guess what? The stage is hot.
Let's see.
They'll come on out. They may see somebody that might be leading the dance contest and interacting with the kids and giving away giveaways every hour on the hour.
Is that right?
And different bands will be there. A top 40 band. We have a youth band. And then it'll be time for Madison County's Got Talent. Local VIPs and celebrities from radio and TV stations will grade a local contest. Folks can go to the website, Caffee Huntsville, www.caffeehuntsville.com, and they can start signing up to be a vendor or to be a part of the Madison County's Got Talent. So we'll grade that, crown a winner. Last year's winner, we'll crown that winner. And then we'll also crown the yearly Young Citizen of the Month, which is another project that I work every month, and we can talk about that, Young Citizen of the Month. And then we'll end this thing with some speeches in the dining facility from some great local leaders. State Representative Mike Ball will be there. He'll talk about his story. And then throughout the event, local heroes in our community will be there. And at the end of the day, what we expect is folks will realize what opportunities are here for them to help them succeed. Local colleges from K to PhD to help kids and parents make decisions. And we can leave here knowing that the city of Huntsville feels good about us, and then it's up to the parents to network with any organization, follow up throughout the year.
It is so obvious that you're passionate. You are so passionate about about our youth and your involvement with them. What can you say to encourage other adults to become involved?
Well, I would tell you that your words breathe life or breathe defeat. I would encourage every adult to give it, whether you have children or not, you're a stakeholder. They're in your community. So you need to invest in them so they can be good citizens, work good jobs, and do good things, so we don't have to worry about them making a decision to go into a criminal lifestyle.
Exactly.
And if you have young ones, single parent, or whether both parents are there, here's what I tell folks, Brenda, every child is at risk.
Okay.
if we don't properly invest in them. So this is not just an event for lower income children. This is an event for every child in the city of Huntsville, whether north, south, east, west, it doesn't matter. High GPA, low GPA. Because the bottom line is, if you a high achieving child, you need to be there to be a role model.
Great point.
If you're a low achieving child, you need to be there to see what it takes to be a high achieving child. Nacy's will be there, Dr. Davis and his crew, and all these great educators will be there as well. And so I would tell parents that come out, find out what's here to help you help your child.
Okay. And other children.
That's right.
Other children. All children are our children.
That's
I
right.
used to say, you know. Let's talk a little bit about community policing.
Yes.
What is that about?
Well, community policing is a philosophy where you get our police officers to go within a community, be assigned to a certain area, and start building a rapport with the citizens of that area. And then start working community initiatives together to make that community a safer place, whether it's setting up a watch association, whether it's having community meetings and then linking everybody together with telephone and email information, disseminating information on our awareness campaigns, taking concerns from the citizens and vetting them up through our chain of command to make sure that we are properly taking care of our citizens' needs, or linking that community with other city officials that may need to take care of deficiency within that community that they just don't know who the person is they need to go to. And if we can build that relationship and bridge that, then guess what? We're all moving synergistically in a positive way to keep that community safe.
Talking about safe, how safe do you feel our city is?
Well, I feel our city, when you look at our aggregate number versus other cities like size, is very safe. It's very safe.
How so?
Because we feel that our numbers, which we turn in through the FBI database, support that this is a safe city. Now, we're not saying we have zero crime. That's our goal, is zero crime. But what we find out about most of the violent crime that is committed, it involves alcohol, it involves a certain time of the day, and at times certain locations. So what does that mean? There are trends, they can be tracked. And we share that with the community because in 2011, when I took over as communications relations officer, we weren't as automated. I was fortunate enough to be able to launch the Nixle system, nixle.com.
What does that mean?
That is a communication system that any citizen can go subscribe to, build an account to where when any crime occurs in the city of Huntsville, our dispatchers will send an email saying, this crime occurred here at this time.
No kidding.
nixle.com. It can text or email to you. So since we've had that, people understand the trends now. They understand, oh, well, you know, I remember what my grandmother used to say, and this is no offense to anybody that happens to be out and about after midnight, but my grandmother used to tell me, if you're out after midnight, there's a high probability that something may happen that you don't like. And then if you mix that with alcohol, then the hazard, danger level goes up. So we just try to make people aware of that the normal citizen that is out and about in our community, that is being very aware of your surroundings and taking precautions, we think there's a very little opportunity that you will be a victim of crime.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit about what you do in terms of educating seniors about crime? Yes,
I'm part of the Senior Crime Prevention Academy.
Okay.
I'm part of the SALT organization, Seniors and Law Enforcement Together. You know, I love acronyms. Okay. And what we do is we have a course twice a year where we have our more mature, I like to call them my mature citizens, age 50 and older, in Madison County, all of Madison County. At the Police Academy, we meet one Thursday a week for about 16 weeks, a couple of hours in the afternoon, and we teach them about crime awareness programs, about prevention techniques, about self-defense, about how the judicial system works, what are the right telephone numbers, how to observe what's going on in your neighborhood, how to build a community watch association. There's nothing more important you can have in your neighborhood than a nosy neighbor.
Okay, that's exactly right.
You want what the proverbial nosy neighbor, I say that tongue in cheek, because you want somebody to watch out for your community. Build a relationship so when you happen to go on vacation, neighbor watches stuff, picks up mail, has your lights on, turn it on and off as if you were home, and checks. And so that's what we want. We feel that if we can build enough community relationships and inform our more mature citizens, guess what? They're mentoring the young folks of this community. And so we want to invest. They're still in the game. They're still valuable. And they have the time and the want to invest in our next generation. So that's a very important element. So we work very closely with our seniors.
With our seniors. That is great. Now, where do you have this program?
That's at the Police Academy on Sparkman Drive, 3011 Sparkman Drive. And also, if you go to hsvpolice.com, you can link on to Senior Crime Prevention Academy, the Citizens Academy, and any of our awareness campaigns that we have. And we run our awareness campaigns cyclically throughout the year.
Okay. I've got about 5 minutes, I think, they're telling me, so there's a couple other things I want to ask you about. You also instruct civilian leadership courses for Leadership Huntsville.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us what that's about.
Well, during my 30 years in the military, I was at the academy, so I have received all of the major military training and leadership training that the military offered me. And so the military still values that, and they asked me to come back as an old soldier to help some of the civilians that are working for the military, to let them understand what the military culture is, how to succeed, and just what it means to be that military leadership and trustworthiness, and what the military expects so they can be successful.
Okay. How long were you in the service?
29 and a half years.
29 and a half.
Yes, ma'am.
You got a lot of background in military.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now, I'm not counting my 5 years in the Boy Scouts.
Okay. Okay.
I've been in a uniform, ma'am, probably for, over 40 years.
Do we have time to talk a little about your military leadership courses that you teach at Team Redstone?
Yes, ma'am. The military leadership courses that I teach at Team Redstone deal with the leadership acronym: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honesty, integrity, and personal courage, LDR, SHIP, because it's very important that our citizens, our civilian, DA, and contractor citizens understand what the military is about. They understand what the warfighter experiences. And so I try to give them a little bit of that experience as well as the managerial side, and how you manage those resources, how you manage the equipment, how you manage the personnel, and how you synergistically bring it together to accomplish your mission. One of the reasons I was hired by the Huntsville Police Department was I teach seminars about how to set a mission, vision, and goal, and your strategic intent, and how you bring all your resources to bear to accomplish that strategic intent and that vision. Because a lot of organizations, they don't know how to bring that to fruition, and it's very important that we know how to do that.
Harry, our time, unfortunately, has come to an end, but I want to thank you for sharing with our viewers what you do on a daily basis. Yes, certainly, you're involved with our men and women in our police department, and making sure that they're on point as well, from a communication standpoint. Dr. Harry Hobbs, with HPD Communications Relations Officer, has been my guest. And we want to thank him for his leadership role in Huntsville City Government. Join us next week for another edition of Inside Huntsville. I'm Brenda Martin. Thank you for joining us.